Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and you're wondering why am I showing you this Suzuki Gsxr? Well, this is a 2007 Suzuki Gsxr600. Now this is actually a customer's. He brought it in because he's actually a brand new rider, and whoever had this bike before had a power commander on it. So let me just go ahead and show you. Let's go mobile. Go ahead and remove this, and hopefully this thing doesn't fall. All right, and as you can see in here, there is a very old power commander 3 on this bike. Now, whoever had this bike didn't properly tune the bike. I think they just had it. Maybe it was from a previous owner who had the bike and had that installed. Obviously, whoever had it, regardless, didn't tune it. And this bike is pretty much all over the place as far as rideability. Let's go back onto the tripod here. This is a brand new rider, and honestly, I don't think he needs all of that headache to begin with as having his first bike. So let's get started and let's get to it, and let's remove this power commander out and get this bike back to OEM specifications. Now this is going to pertain to any motorcycle, but for this particular video, it's going to be on this 07 Gsxr600. So besides me just showing you where the power commander was located, it was obviously on the back end. Normally there would have been a seat over here, but he has a cowl. So just put your key in here and remove the cowl. We're going to go ahead and put this somewhere safe so it doesn't get scratched or damaged. Okay, once you do that, next thing you need to do for this Gsxr600 is going to have to remove the seat. And there are 2 screws with a 4mm Allen key. 1 screw here and 1 screw other side. So go ahead and remove those 2 screws. Okay, after you remove those 2 screws, go ahead and lift up the seat and get access to this part. After that, we're going to need a 6mm Allen key, and we have to remove the center screw over here. So go ahead and do that. Okay, after you do take out the screw from there, you're going to need a tank prop guard. This one I just pretty much bought this aluminum rod and just kind of cut it to the desired length that I would need it for. So if you have something like this, great. If not, pick one up from your hardware store. You know, if you're able to get this one, I believe this one is probably around 20 inches long, and that's good enough to get it propped up. If not, just find something around your garage or whatnot to keep the tank up in an up position. But before we do that, we have to remove these side plastic fairings. It should come out easy. They're probably velcroed on if I have to slide it backwards to get out, because there's this little lip right here which corresponds with this. So just go ahead and slide them backwards. And like I said, they were velcroed. There's a velcro piece there, and that's not aftermarket. That's actually from the factory that they come that way. Fairly simple to remove. So go ahead and put these to the side. Now you can go ahead and lift up the tank. Okay, now that I got that gas tank propped up, this customer just got this bike, so I'm going to go ahead and do him a favor, and I'm going to actually go ahead and check air filter, which is located underneath here, and with a bunch of little screws, which is going to be with a Phillips screwdriver. Alright, so I just pulled out the filter of this bike, and yeah, look how disgusting this thing is. It looks like it's never been cleaned. I am super surprised. The good thing about it is a K&N filter, or I believe it is. Let's see it right here. K&N filter right there. So the good thing about it is that it can be cleaned. So I do have the special solvent and cleaner for this. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this and get this back to looking new and being able to have the bike breathe a lot better instead of through all this garbage and nastiness. Whoever had this bike probably never took the time to actually clean this thing. All right, just got done cleaning it, and check it out. What a difference. Okay, now that I got all that situated, now we're going to go ahead and remove the box out of there. So you want to do is you want to locate where your box is located and just kind of pinpoint where the wire is and start tracing where the wire goes. So obviously this is a really big cable right here, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and trace it, and it comes right down over here. So if I remove the camera, right about here. So you can see here is that cable, and I'm going to continue tracing it to here. And obviously it's going to go to the part where the fuel injectors are. I know it's kind of dark to see in there, so I got my flashlight. And pretty much I'm going to be looking inside here and pinpointing where all the connectors are. So you're going to have to do the same. Alright, decided to go mobile so I can show you guys. So as you can see, here is where the cable is right here. So as I'm going in, it's going to be kind of really hard to exactly show you what I'm doing. But as you're doing it, just kind of grab it and, you know, where the cables are. And you're going to see that there's these, I'll point with a crayon here so you can see one of the connectors for the fuel injectors. You're going to go ahead and unplug it. You're going to do one by one. So once you unplug the harness, you're going to plug the original fuel injector back to where it belongs, which is going to be right over there. So go one by one until you get to the end, which is going to be all 4 fuel injectors. Okay, I wanted to show you guys real quick. You're going to notice there's going to be this gray wire. Don't forget to unplug that. So unplug that one. Go ahead and unplug it. Seems like they just wire tapped it into a line over there. I'm not too familiar with power commanders, so I'm not sure what this was. I think probably could have been a signal wire for the fuel injector plugs. Other than that, it is becoming a real pain in my butt. As you can see, all the scratch marks I have right here on my arm to get to those fuel injectors, as they didn't go to the top ones. They actually did do the bottom ones, which is a little more harder and difficult on removing. I'm already in the last one, so once I get this one done, I'll kind of show you how they were plugged in. Alrighty guys, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of a royal pain in the butt to get into those areas, as everything was so tight, and to try to get my fingers into those fuel injector plugs to be able to unplug every one of them and put the originals back in. Alright, but as you can see, I already got, well, you probably cannot see, but let me go ahead and try to get that harness out, which is the old harness for the power commander. So you can see it's all here. Go ahead and take all this baloney out. As you can see, here is the harness right here. So once I get this completely out of the bike, I'll show you pretty much how it essentially went connected onto the bike. But as of right now, we're just going to go ahead and pull all of this out. See where it's kind of connected to here. As you can see, it's running through here, So the next thing would be to unplug and disconnect it from the negative lead, which is right over here. So go ahead with your 10mm socket, unscrew this, and pull this, disconnect this cable. Once we do that, we'll be able to finally get all of this this wiring harness out. And pretty much, I'm gonna pull it out from the back and take the whole thing out. Alrighty, everything's been taken out. Now let's go ahead and take out this baloney of a mess of a very old Power Commander 3. It is finally out of the bike. Now I can go ahead and either sell it to some other person who's looking to have a Power Commander, doesn't have enough money to buy the most latest and greatest. They could deal with this mess, but as far as this bike is concerned, we're not going to deal with that, because I believe that this bike, for a beginner, if you were to choose to go with a 600 as your first bike, OEM stock has plenty of power for you to be satisfied for a very long time. Also wanted to say, upon removing that Power Commander, I found a rod that was kind of stuck over here at the bottom over here, and upon removing it, it's actually the original prop tank rod for the gas tank. So whoever owned this bike, it must have slid under, and normally when people buy bikes, somehow they take these out and they never put it back. So therefore, you're never with the prop rod. That's why I had to make my own. But this customer is very lucky, as I found this. I'm going to go ahead and put it right where it's supposed to be. As you can see, there is some small notches right here, and that's pretty much where it kind of goes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this properly where it's supposed to be. Therefore, the customer will always have his original prop rod. I'll show you what it would look like. This, like I said, this is my homemade one, so it's just to hold up the tank. But since he has the original, you would pop it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the original on so you can see and how it looks. Alright, so this is how the original prop rod would work. So it's kind of blurry here, but you can see it goes in through this part here, and then it goes down to this hole right there. And therefore, this kind of helps prop up the gas tank, so that way you could get to your air filter to, you know, do some maintenance on it, or to get to the fuel injectors or anything around this area to actually help and work on your bike. Alright, so we're at the bench, and let me show you essentially on how it pretty much works. So what you would do is, let me just grab this one, that has a bit more to it. You would grab your original fuel injector plug, and you would disconnect it from your fuel injector, and then from this harness, you would connect the one that came out from your original. You would connect it to this harness. So you would connect it, the one one that came out from your bike, you would connect it to here, and then this one will go to your one that you just pulled out, so it will go to the original fuel injector. So it's kind of like a piggyback. You know, your original goes here, and then the aftermarket goes into the actual fuel injector. And that's what you would do, you know, for all four of them, like this. Let me zoom out a bit. So that's what you would do for all four, and I'm guessing this is a signal wire, and you would tap into on the bike. So that's pretty much essentially how you would connect this. So that's done. Get rid of that. Now let's go ahead and put everything back on the bike. It's pretty much everything is going to be the opposite of what we just did on removing. Go ahead and put the cover down, put the screws back in. Okay, now that I got the gas tank down, we'll go ahead and put that screw over here with the 5mm bolt. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and put the plastics back on, which is going to be slid in, and then, you know, push it in for the Velcro. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and put our seat in, and with those two bolts of 4mm screws, one on this side, one on that side. And then finally, we're going to put our rear. If you have a seat, put the seat. If you have the cowl, just put the cowl there, and you're pretty much done. Then we're gonna go ahead and turn on the bike and see how it sounds. Okay, everything is all set there. And if you guys are wondering where that prop guard goes, it actually goes right here. There's a little pocket here for it. Then a little kind of like a little hook like that to actually hold everything in place, and that's where it actually goes. All right, so now that that is all set, I could go ahead and put this plastic piece for this particular customer. Like I said, you guys may still have the seat. So once that's in, let's go ahead and click it. And that's all set. All right, now let's go ahead and start up the bike. Let's go ahead and turn it on. All right, here we go. All right, as you can see, everything is sounding much better compared to what it was before, where it sounded like it was like struggling. It was like kind of doing that kind of thing. Now everything sounds like it's supposed to, back to normal. If you guys found this video helpful, please smash that like button. If you disliked the video, smash the dislike button. Let me know down below what you disliked about this video. Hopefully this helped you out on how to actually remove something like this. Maybe you bought a bike as well. Maybe you didn't want that on the bike and you kind of want everything back to OEM specs. So good thing about having a power commander like that or something like that is that you're able to remove it and put everything back to how it used to be. Now it's a little bit different if you get your ECU flashed. If you had your ECU flash, you can't, as far as I know, reflash it back to OEM. Maybe there's a way. I don't know. If you do know, please post down below if you're able to let other people know if it's a possibility. Other than that, if you guys have any other questions or concerns, please let me know down below as well of this video. And if you know anyone else that has power commander or a similar fuel management system and wants them removed, please share my video as well. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, that way you guys are up to date with my latest videos, installations, and stuff like that. You guys take care. See you guys on the next video.